Madam Speaker, I rise today in strong support of the Stop Exploitation Through Trafficking Act. Safe harbor legislation is the first step in ensuring that children who are forced into the sex trade are treated as victims and not as criminals. First, I'd like to recognize my colleagues, Representative Paulson and Moore, for their commitment to preventing the exploitation of children as the lead authors of this bill. In 2012, in my town, Los Angeles, 170 girls were arrested and detained by probation and later identified as trafficking victims. The average age of trafficked victims was 12 years old. At such a young age, these girls have survived immense trauma that no child should ever experience. In most cities, a large percentage of the girls are connected to the foster care system. These children we are supposed to be protecting. These are children that we have removed from their homes. But far too often, instead of protecting these girls and finding them the right social services to get off the streets, our society continues to arrest them. They should never be charged with the crime, since many are minors and cannot legally consent to sex. And has been said, the word prostitute should never be used. They are not criminals, they are victims. Unfortunately, many of their troubles continue as they enter a juvenile justice system that often treats them as offenders and does not provide them with the resources they need in order to rebuild their lives. Even after serving their time and turning their lives around, young adults routinely leave custody or probation with a criminal record, preventing them from starting careers. Simply put, the system sets them up for failure. To make matters worse, I've been told by leading judges in most states a child must be arrested in order to attain many social services. Even in Los Angeles, where we have a model court and a probation department doing tremendous work to empower young survivors, we must arrest children before they receive intervention services. One can only imagine the emotional and psychological trauma that occurs when victims are continually told they are responsible for their own abuse. This must change. The Stop Exploitation Through Trafficking Act addresses one of the most pressing issues facing child victims of trafficking. I look forward to working with states to ensure that the safe harbor legislation throughout the county is meaningful and that appropriate services are provided, even if the child is not system involved. I also look forward to identifying policies to ensure that the young people who have already been arrested have the opportunity to not only seal but completely expunge their records. I yield back the balance of my